Welcome to another SPbN production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
In the heart of night, we rise from shadows, howling at the moon, igniting our battles, cleansing Gaia of an endless fight. Until our final days we will fight. Thanks, man, we stand united as one. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the grave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Everywhere we run, the wind is at our back. All the warring forces we will track. From the depths of the ocean to the clouds in the sky, vampires tremble as we learn to fight. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the grave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Everywhere with the pack, let the night be our guide. In battles of honor, we shall never hide. Rock will never hide.
Good evening and welcome to the St. Pete by Night Entertainment Network. St. Petersburg by Night is a World of Darkness role-playing community originating in St. Petersburg, Florida. My name is Kent, also known as Kent on all social media, and I will be your storyteller tonight. It's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time for Hounds, our Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition chronicles set in Tampa Bay, Florida, where a pack of young guru have traveled from Michigan to assist the Sept of the Evening Star in combating the forces of the worm, both physical and spiritual. You can follow St. Pete by Night on all of the social media listed in the description down below, and you can join our community by following that Discord link where you could take part in one of the many activities we have running all month long. We are now offering for players to run or play in 20th Anniversary or Chronicles of Darkness games as well, so head on over and join our community today. Now, let's introduce our players. Players, go ahead and introduce yourselves if you please.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nikki, and I will be playing Delphine Gaia Speaker, the Silent Strider Theurge. Didn't mess it up this week.
Hello everyone, my name is Jay. Don't stop the music all night long. Keep it on. It's your Friday night. And I'll be playing Forge from Failures to Bonar Ruin.
Jesus fucking Christ. Hi, my name is Lilith. I'll be playing Juniper Kameen, the Black Fury Ragabash.
Hi, you're looking good tonight. I'm Navers. I play Quinn Kelly, the Children of Gaia Ragabash.
Oh, howdy, hello, Internet. My name is Echo, and I'll be playing Gaia's favorite lupus born, Will-O-Wisp, the Galliard of the Children of Gaia.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ben, and I'll be playing Raymond Gorn, the Ghost Council Philodox.
Hi, everybody. I'm Champ, Champagne, Boss Babe in this situation, and I will be playing Aspen Wise, Philodox of the Silverfangs.
Hey everybody, I am Nori, and I will be playing Malicious Jester, Aspen's boss babe, bestie of the Black Furies, she's a Galliard.
How are all of you? My name is Nick, first-time guest star on Hellhounds, and I will be playing Izzy, aka Entwined Smiles with Claws, the Alrune Child of Gaia.
Every time I think that the introduction phase can't get longer, I am always wrong. Absolutely, we have a full cast of characters today, and you will see why as we get into our story. But why don't we catch up on what happened last week? So last week, we obviously saw Juniper and Forged continue their endeavors as they arrived in Michigan to try and hunt down the fate of Cooper as well as Forged's brother, Jacob. And they went to the house of Forged, and the greeting they received was very unexpected, as none of his family seemed to recognize him, and that any evidence of his being in existence in that family was completely erased. They did, however, mention that their beloved son Jacob and his son Cooper had visited recently and were on their way back up to their home near Tilden Mine. This led to Forged and Juniper first trying to sort out exactly what had happened and hoped to find the holes in the story, but instead resigned themselves to having to continue their search, Forged having some obviously complicated emotions about the whole deal. We saw Delphine go to speak with the recently recovered Jordan to see just how far he had come along and just how much he had remembered. After a little bit of an interrogation, things took a turn for the unexpected, as Jordan had made a deal with Delphine that he would assist in repairing the generator within the possible new cairn in exchange for a dinner date and an explanation as to who they really were and what exactly had been going on. Raymond had his first Bane tending lesson with Eliza, and he was basically told he had to deal with the Bane in himself of guilt over what had happened to Jordan, because if he did not confront this issue and resolve it, he would not be fit to handle the struggles of the Banes he would be encountering. This, of course, was a complicated issue for Raymond, but one that he decided was the best course of action regardless, and that he would go and confront his former best friend. We also saw Quinn meet with Artie to try and discuss this spirit, the spirit that they found called Supervisor in the location of the new cairn, to help better understand Weaver spirits. But really what ended up happening was Quinn got his first of possibly many therapy sessions that are well overdue. Needless to say, our story continues this week. Let's see how everything develops in our first scene. Our first scene begins at the Sept of the Evening Star, the cairn more specifically, where 4 children of Gaia have come together. All 4 of them have walked very different roads, but all of those roads have led to Tampa. And with their variety of experiences, they come together to share stories, get to know one another, and really make sure that all of the tribe are on the same page. As you're gathered around the fire pit ringed by a variety of sized stones, a blaze burning brightly within the fire pit, you can hear crickets on the wind. You can see the stars twinkling overhead. It is a beautiful, almost perfect Florida evening, as the heat hasn't fully encroached on the region and the humidity is still within the bearable range. But in the cairn, it is always temperate, almost perfect. So as Terrence, Isidoro, Willow, and Quinn come together, the scene is yours.
As Izzy watches the Children of Gaia assemble, he will take a very imperious-looking stance at first, puffing out his chest, because he has only one opportunity to pretend that he's a big meanie. And he's going to take it as he looks around specifically to Quinn and Willow before going, "So, are you ready to take over this cairn?"
Quid will step forward and seeing the other two there, also kind of puffing his chest out, being that he doesn't know the kinds of individuals they are. He'll say, "Oh, I didn't realize this was a coup."
Terrence will look over towards Willow with a somewhat bewildered expression, then jerks his thumb in the direction of Izzy in an almost, can you believe this guy look.
Willow has just cocked their head and just looks like, what are we doing? Is this a joke thing? This is the joke thing. Oh, okay, it's fine. And we'll just go sit by the fire with their bare feet, like as close to the flames as possible without burning, and just do little kickies.
Quid will also sit near Willow, and he will also take off his shoes and socks to be barefoot.
As we all sort of get cozy around the fire, Izzy will stand up, having sort of the default elder position amongst this meeting, and go, "But seriously, I know we've all cast eyes against each other across the barn, or maybe between meetings, formal introductions and all that. You may call me Izzy. Friends do. Or, if you wish to be formal, as befits an elder here, you can call me Entwined Smiles with Claws, or Ent for short. And you," and with that he will point over to Quinn, "I think you can go first. I think you're the second eldest, right?"
Out of us, I assume. I'm Quinn Kelly. I am a Children of Gaia Ragabash, up from the north.
Izzy casts a glance over to Terrence. "Third eldest."
Wow, that's really strange to hear. Hi, I am Terrence. I've been a guru for about 18 months now, and I'm a theurge. I just spent the last year in Georgia, but I'm originally from Tampa. I was actually found by the Sept.
Izzy doesn't even say anything. He merely directs his gaze straight at Willow.
Willow will stand on the log and give a large salute, standing tall above everyone else who is seated. I am Willow Wisp, and I am a Galliard of the Children of Gaia, sir. And we'll sit back down.
"Good work, soldier."
Terrence immediately looks with delight over towards Willow. Are you a lupus born?
Yeah.
No, it's good. My kinseeker was a lupus born, and I love them. I've been obsessed with wolves since I was a kid. So I'd love to pick your brain sometime and maybe talk about what you know and what you experienced, and just get to know you better.
The past things are hard. We're working on those, but brain pickery is good. And I you theurge, teach me speak spirit.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, yay. Okay, good. Yes, okay, great. That will be good. Yes, okay, great, good.
Well, introductions appear to be squared. Everyone's friendly with each other. Now, this isn't quite the normal speed for some of the moots. No grand embrace of love for Gaia or anything like that. We're just here to make small talk for now. So I will ask, any major questions, points of interest? We're opening up. We're doing a mini cracking of the bone here, so feel free to speak up.
Actually, I do have a question, but it is for my tribe sister, Willow. And I guess it's any good place here. Willow, I had a conversation with Delphine, and for some reason, both her and Juniper seem to think that I hurt you.
I don't know why Juniper got that idea. I was just trying not to talk about the and just sort of like points to the scars. I was like, I just don't want to talk. So I think Juniper wants to kill you. I don't know
Yeah,
what
I
that's
got that.
about. I tried to be like, no, that's Tribe. He's good. Why would you think that? And then she kind of just, I don't know why she thought I was saying things that I wasn't saying about that. So I don't know how to fix that one. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Just let's work on context next. How's that?
You're not the first person to say that word, and I still don't understand what that word means.
It's a nasty, nasty word.
Terrence looks kind of unblinking over at Izzy. That pack's really nosy, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. Although I've only heard good things about them, so I mean, it can't be that bad, right?
Sure.
You know something I don't?
No, I just, don't, I guess, assume the worst of people when I first meet them. And that doesn't seem to be a shared perspective.
Yeah, you're going to find out real quick that often it'll be a very bitey first impression among Skaru. No honor unless that which is shown or that which is owed, any of that. So it's good to keep an optimistic view, Terrence.
Yeah, I guess. I just, I think we're all here for the same reason, right? I mean, I know there's all about the cult of Fenris and the others, but like, we all kind of want the same thing.
And that is the great mystery of Unicorn, huh?
That is true. Speaking of our pack, though, two of them have just like left for some reason. We weren't even told why they left.
Probably a mission. Not that I would know. I'm just wagering. In fact, I recently came back from Orlando on a mission. So.
Oh, what you do in Orlando?
Izzy will grow a bit silent for a moment, not sure how much he should say before leaving it at a very terse. It was some Weaver shenanigans, nothing too important.
All right. Well, I'd love to hear it someday, but until then, good on you.
Oh, don't worry. When I get time to sing the glories of Jason, Dreams in Decay, the Elder Theurge, you will definitely be hearing some of what happened in Orlando. But for now, I don't want to spoil it. So you're just going to have to ache and pain with apprehension.
No, story time. Story's good. No, please.
You're gonna say no to that face?
Izzy will stare at Willow.
Willow is giving the absolute cutest please face you've ever seen in your life.
Willow, give me a charisma and persuasion.
And then do I make an opposing roll?
Wits and insight.
Can I help by also doing a puppy dog face next to Willow?
Yeah, you can add an additional die to the pool.
Can I use persuasion naivety here?
Yes.
And I assume rage is at 1.
Yes, rage is at 1.
And you said wits and insight, right?
Yeah. Actually, let's go resolve an insight on that one.
That is 7 successes.
I thought I was hot shit. I do not beat that even with a crit.
Okay. So, looking at those big round eyes, a little bit glassy, the firelight reflecting off of them, lip pouted out. It'd probably be fine. I mean, it wasn't secret business. It's Sept business. I'm sure it'd be okay.
Izzy was ready to just be the commanding force in this conversation, but as the dynamic duo stare at him with begging and pleading eyes, something in him cracks as he goes, okay. So Jason and I were going over to Orlando for one of his namer friends. We all know what a namer is, and with that he makes particular attention to Willow.
No.
All right, they're humans that are doing stuff they're not supposed to. Okay, they're messing with the weave, the foundation of everything. They're really scary.
Extra stinky. Got it.
And we head over there, and there's this. And he immediately runs down the stairs of. Not only does a lupus probably not have the experience of general Garu life, but definitely doesn't have the experience of the human world. And he goes, you know what, like, Harry Potter is, right?
No.
Don't worry.
What about like Merlin? Did you read any of the Knights of the Round Table books or anything, or have those stories told to you or read to you?
Izzy gently puts a hand on Terrence's hand and goes, I don't think she's gonna
Reference
know.
the Hunger Games. She's been reading that with Delphine.
Yeah, I've been reading that. That's a good book. That's a good book. I like those books.
Don't think there's a comparison in Hunger Games.
Yeah. Well, they do stuff that is not normal. They do stuff that's like, well, probably like Terrence does here. Stuff
Oh,
with
like the urge
spirits.
stuff. Okay. Yeah, I know what the urge stuff is. Yeah.
But they don't do it in the spirit way. They do it in a way that hurts spirits.
Well, let's not be too general. Not necessarily all of them, but some of them do.
You're right. My personal experience is coloring this a bit. So, Jason and I go down there. There's a bookstore, an antique shop that's you walk in and all of a sudden it's bigger on the inside than the outside, and we did some magic, I think. And honestly, a lot of the detail is, I always suck at these stories, man. If I had a cool scar, I could show you that. Like, I could tell you about these, and with that he gestures to his arms, but we just sort of walked out there with what we came for, and well, only thing I can really say is I conquered Orlando traffic.
That is a tough one.
But there's a bookstore?
No, Willow, we're not going to go to the bookstore.
You should not go to that bookstore.
But
There are other bookstores, Willow. We will go to other bookstores, not that one.
but it's bigger on the inside. That sounds so cool.
I'm sure there are many other bookstores that are bigger on the inside.
But magic is cool. I don't want to hurt spirits though. That sounds bad.
You were just told magic isn't cool, Willow.
But that sounds so cool.
As Izzy has spent more time with both Quinn and Willow in this moment, I think Izzy's starting to piece together the sort of dynamic, as well as specifically about Willow, like the kind of lupus she is, Definitely against the grain. All the other lupus he has ever known have been far more standoffish. And he will try to open up that conversation and go, so yeah, obviously I shared a bit of my antics, but I've only heard that you showed up roughly at the same time I did. And with that, he will point to Quinn. I think maybe you were in Vermont, right?
That's right. Yeah, up in the north with the true nation, we'll say. But no,
How'd you get down here?
I was in a sister Caern for kinseekers. And I found Willow on a kin-seeking expedition and decided to bring her down here instead.
I guess that explains that it's only been a couple months since your first change. Willow, where did you normally run around before accepting your destiny as a warrior of Gaia?
You see a sort of panic sort of take over Willow's face just a tiny bit. I don't know places a lot yet. And where I was bad, and then I got out, and then I met Quinn, and now things are better because we're here and not there. So that's that.
I assume I see the tension.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably pretty obvious. They're not necessarily the best at hiding those kinds of emotions right now.
Izzy will frown, seeing Willow basically curl into herself around the fire, and not being too direct, sort of lean back a bit and go, okay, well, you know, children of Gaia, as we are, it's good to know the steps we take on the road to healing and discovery. I assume that this bad place is something you'd rather forget, yeah?
Yes, very much so.
Is it the kind of place that will come around again?
Oh, I hope not.
Quinn puts his hand on Willow's shoulder just to kind of gently squeeze as a comfort and say, no, they're hopefully not coming down here. We've got our own problems with other people coming down.
A lot of hopefuls. Do you want to talk about it?
Oh, on my stuff? Yeah, sure. The
I was
warder
referring
of...
to Willow.
Oh.
But if you have stuff to discuss as well, I'm open to it. I just see a lot of tension on the youngest Garu, and she's looking to you like... well, not that I would have experience with this, but she's looking at you like she wants you to cover. And it's good to bring these sorts of issues to the forefront.
Quinn, knowing that Willow does not want to have this conversation, is going to attempt to deflect and talk about his problems instead. I don't know if you want to have Gosh roll for that to see if that's happening or just continue.
I think you can just redirect the subject. Just go for it.
So Quinn just say, no, it's all right. You know, it's just, you know, the current issue right now is that I have someone coming down to try and kill me from my Caern. So I think that's kind of more important than where she was, because none of her people are coming to get her, and I'm gonna die.
Izzy will immediately be captivated by that and go, wait, someone from the nation is coming to kill you?
Yeah. A warder of my Caern. His name is escaping me at this time. What is it, Rookets?
Rook.
Rook, thank you. Sorry. So Rook.
Do they have a deed name?
That is their deed name. That is the short version of their deed name.
Do you know their whole deed name, Quinn?
He'll pause for a moment, not really wanting to continue to talk about this himself.
We lost his scent back in Georgia when we were headed down from up there. But he was aggressive, but like prey is aggressive. Like trying to show I am big and scary and you should be scared when he is not.
So the person, at least you, Quinn, were running away from in the old nation, chased you across a dozen states, but stopped at Georgia.
As far as we know, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Quid sighs, and he says his name is Rook of Iron Bells.
Would Izzy have heard of that name?
Give me an intelligence and politics.
One.
No, probably not.
I have not heard of that name, so probably nobody. Why haven't you killed him yet?
Because he's the warder of my old Caern, an elder, and a red talon, and I don't fight well.
But there's two of you?
You and I both know that the challenge would include only one person.
So this is a manner of the nation, then, not just someone trying to gut you for something else. Can you go into a bit more detail? Because as your Elder Arun, I may or may not have some expertise to help you with this Rook fella.
Quid sighs, and he continues his own story, explaining away his kin-seeking of not being able to kill someone when he was supposed to, and then going into it. And then I kind of stole a lupus born that Rook could have used.
I still don't think that that's a problem. I would not have done well there, and they probably would have just killed me. So I think he should just chill the fuck out if that's what that is.
Language?
I didn't
No,
teach you
they
that.
said I could curse now. They said it was okay.
Before unicorn? Cursing? No, you're fine, Willow, you're fine.
Okay, good. Yeah, okay. Because everyone said it was okay, so I did it because it was okay.
Well, the details are a bit hazy. But Quinn, you know, if you are the one challenged, you can set the challenge, right?
Yes, I'm very aware of that. I don't have many skill sets that he also doesn't have.
Ah.
Except maybe reading. I could probably challenge him to reading.
Well, you say you're not as strong as him. So I have 2 points of attack for you. One, you train up.
Is one it? Is that it?
I mean, you should do that anyways.
I have been working with Charles, okay? I'm doing my best.
Izzy goes stiff immediately.
I still don't like his vibes. I mean, I know it's because he's like traumatized or stuff, but like he doesn't need to be like that all the time.
Izzy's face dowers as Willow says that before he presses through it and goes, well, I'll finish off on the advice before we talk about your current training. The second would be you just pick something that you know you can win at.
That's true.
And you appear to have quite the relationship with Willow here.
Yes, I found her. She's my kin.
So just have a challenge relating to, I don't know, knowing Willow.
Maybe.
I mean, you do know the most about me about anyone, so.
Yeah, but that would also mean that he would gain information about you once I told what the information was.
Oh.
You'd have to
Yeah, that
put up
would-
and shut up if you win.
Or I could lie and then Willow can say that that's just true.
I could, but that's wrong. Unicorn doesn't like it when we do that, so we can't do that.
Only if it's for yourself.
Wouldn't it be, though? Because you're trying to win a challenge?
No, I'm protecting Willow.
Leave it to the Ragabash to bend the rules.
I don't know if that's how that works.
Well, Unicorn can strike me down.
No!
Careful,
I like
she
you
might.
whole and standing and not in the ground or eaten. So stop that right now. And we'll just sort of like slap him gently in the face.
No, I know. I'm not looking to be challenged or to challenge anyone, so let's just hope he doesn't show up.
Once again, there's all that hope. You need to prep for it.
Yeah.
Now, you said Charles has been training you.
Yes.
Are you both okay?
He did choke me and lift me off the ground. That was not fun.
Yeah, he does that and worse.
In his
Did that.
defense, we were supposed to fight each other, and Willow didn't want to, and so she had to fight Charles.
Because you're tribe. You don't fight tribe and you don't fight pack. Especially if they're of higher rank. You don't do that.
But what if you have to?
Then you die with honor. Is what I said to Charles. He didn't get either.
Now, that is a very funny thing to hear from you, Willow. You do not seem like the type who's willing to die with honor. Not at this stage, at least. Why? Why would you say that? Why not fight?
I've already been through the worst thing ever. Like, I've already seen how bad things can be. So, you know, if it's Gaia's will that someone higher rank than me would take me down, then that is Gaia's will.
I think Izzy nods a bit, if only to sort of think and buy time. And he will look over to Terrence for a bit of, like, are you getting a vibe of something? Of perhaps a lack of self-preservation, or...
Well, Unicorn teaches us that we should work towards unity and peace. So I understand why Willow has that perspective. And I think that it is a good perspective to have, you know, always giving people the best or the benefit of the doubt, giving them an opportunity to prove themselves, or, you know, not judge a book by its cover. Have you heard that term?
Yes, that's my favorite term because I like books.
Good.
Yeah, like, yeah, I was talking with Eliza about that kind of stuff, and I want to learn how to help more people out of the brain stuff.
Good. So I think as a counterpoint, you should know how to defend yourself against Guru. And I think that's the lesson that Charles was trying to teach you. We should give him the benefit of the doubt that he wouldn't ask you to do something with the assumption that he's trying to trick you or trying to force you against your will. I think it's to prepare you, because while you may never, or hopefully never, have to fight another Guru lose control sometimes, and you need to be prepared to be able to defend yourself and to possibly restrain them if they do get out of hand. Now, that doesn't mean you have to hurt them. There are ways to restrain and grapple and fight that aren't causing injury, that aren't causing harm. And I think that it would do you well to learn those methods. I think it could be beneficial to you.
Yeah, that's why I fought Charles, because he's not pack or tribe. So that was okay.
But what if one of your tribe does lose control? What if it is Quinn or Isadora or myself?
Well, that's why I've got the songs. And I've been learning the songs. I've got the song, and we'll like pull out this ratty little notebook, and we'll just flip through, and this page is like covered with like horrific handwriting and little doodles. A song of tranquility. I've been learning it, so I can in other ways. There are other ways to do it other than fight a marine.
You are the funniest Lupus I've ever seen. You keep books, you read books, you like reading books.
He's very smart, very knowledgeable.
And that's perfectly good and helpful, but also gifts sometimes require a time and focus that you might not be given. I understand you, Willow, better than you know. I'm the same way. I consider myself primarily a pacifist in a lot of ways, because I believe that too often do Guru in this culture turn to violence rather than resolving with their mind or what they've learned, or even with words. And so I agree with you in many, many ways. I think in the ideal, Unicorn would see us all unify to better fight this fight. Unfortunately, the ideal rarely is the truth. It is just something we hope for and we strive for. But I don't blame you for feeling the way you feel. I don't judge you for feeling the way you feel. And in fact, I'd love to teach you potentially a way of defending yourself that is unique to our tribe.
Yes, please. Yes, yes.
So it's called Izkaku, and it's the fighting with staffs. It is unique to our tribe, but it is something that you would be capable of doing without causing a great deal of injury or harm, other than mild bruising, and it also allows you to keep some distance if you have a fairly lengthy staff to assist you.
Big stick? I get to hit things with big stick?
Yes.
This is the best. This is the greatest. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yes, please. That sounds very good.
Just know exactly what you're learning this style to do, Willow.
I mean, it's just to make sure that if something were to happen, I don't have to lose it.
Well, it's a great way to knock someone unconscious rather than having to harm them in a more serious manner. I had to learn it when I went up to the Sept of the fertile soil, because it was a Children of Gaia Sept, and luckily they had a teacher there. But you could use a rake, you could use a shovel at any time. As long as you have something that could represent a staff, it could be to your benefit. There's also a lot of calm and peace that comes with the training of Izkaku. Have you ever heard of something called Tai Chi?
That's not like the other words. That's a different word. What
No,
is
that
word?
you're right. Iskaku comes from Sumerian origins, whereas Tai Chi comes from more Asian origins, but it's basically like a meditative martial art.
Huh?
An ability to find inner peace and calm and focus through the use of the martial art.
By learning how to fight.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Yes, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
I learned a bit. I would hardly call myself a master of the art, but I think that I can at least show you the few things that I've learned and give you some knowledges that possibly even Charles doesn't have, as it is a tribe secret.
Don't let Charles know you said that.
I'd love to say I'm not afraid of him, but that's not true. I am actually a little bit intimidated by him, but having that kind of knowledge, I think, helps because it's the staff is a gift from Gaia, as it is made of wood. It can often be used to defend as well as attack, but attack without doing a great deal of harm. And I think that such knowledge should continue to be passed on. There are fewer and fewer of us these days, so I've been told and seen, and I think that some of the old ways are worth preserving.
Yes, knowledge is power, and that's important.
Exactly. Well, speaking of knowledge, I don't know if any of you are interested, but I heard a song as well in my early days of teaching and training, and I'd love to recite it to you. I'm not as good of a singer, but I can speak it in a almost like a poem form.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yes.
Okay. He takes a deep breath in and he shakes out his arms and then says, "The Guru were born in the world's morn, brave wolves to ward their mother. Brave wolves they turned, fooled by the worm, and set to fight each other. For Gaia's every daughter, for Gaia's every son, the ways divide, the water wide. Our path to peace we climb. We are all Gaia's children, the many tribes are one. From war we come, for peace our home. Deep are the eyes of time, the tribes divide, each takes a side, takes two sides to make a war. And Geru died, blood ties untied, rot filled the nation's core. The mother peered, her great eyes teared, into a cairn of slaughter. From there she got, from death and rot, 5 of her sons and daughters. In mother's nest against her breast, the 5 dead children lay. Cold as the earth, but a new birth, great Gaia whelped that day. To each she spoke, and live they woke, one from each blessed moon. Her sacred breath woke them from death, though undeserved a boon. Your Gaia's child and undefiled, preserve our mother's peace. The tribes unite, your heart keep bright, though struggles never cease. And from this tale, know you can't fail a darkened world to heal, as did those 5 keep hope alive, her love and peace make real."
Izzy will immediately clap.
As will Quinn.
Willow is fervently clapping.
I'm by no means a Galliard, and I appreciate that, but I think it's an important lesson for us that we do have to fight. It's unavoidable. It's part of what we are. It's part of what we have to do, but it doesn't mean it has to change us. It doesn't have to put out that light inside, that light of positivity and peace. there are many ways to combat the worm, many ways to fight. They don't always have to mean death or destruction, because aren't we just enacting the worm's will if we do that?
Wisdom to consider. Thank you, Terrence.
But yeah, we'll get you a staff and we'll start practicing.
Yay. Good. Yes, good.
It's nice to see you're more open to beating your fellow Garu, Willow.
Their face immediately drops like, oh, no, but it's...
It's
but
okay. It's not, you're not beating, you're training. It's practice. And everybody goes into practice knowing that sometimes you get bruised, sometimes you get a little bit hurt, but at the end, this is an art that brings us closer together, knowing who has each other's backs, who's capable of what, making each other stronger. It's like steel forging steel. It just makes it stronger.
And besides, the bruises we make, both physical and emotional, are a part of us. And with that, he will hold up his arm again and he'll move part of his shirt and show like a welt here, a scar that didn't quite heal up there. All things we can say for certain, at the very least, make us what we are now. You get that, right?
Willow has, like, without really thinking about it, curled into a little ball and pulled up the sleeves on their hoodie over their hands and over the fingerless gloves that they wear. I'm still thinking about that one.
What specifically are you thinking about, Willow?
Looks at Quinn.
Quinn, if you want to be a good elder, I think you got to let Willow walk on her own 2 feet here.
I don't think she's ready for that yet, and I think we might want to move the conversation along because she doesn't want to talk about it, and we shouldn't push her.
I'm not pushing her, I'm just letting her explain why she doesn't want to talk about it.
Eliza said I should work up to talking about it, and I was gonna talk about it with Delphine, because Delphine should know because she's pack leader, and if she doesn't know, that could be a bad thing. That could cause problems later if it did come back. I really hope it doesn't come back.
You and I can talk to Delphine together. It's fine.
Okay. I was in a place where they took things from me and hurt me and my pack and my home, and then I got out and it's better now, and I just don't like thinking about it or talking about it because it makes my nose bleed and it makes my head hurt and it makes me feel icky. So yeah.
Izzy's expression is just stone hard as a bit of that rage boils up.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Willow. I know that took a lot of effort and bravery to do. And so know that we appreciate you and acknowledge you for deciding to take that risk and put yourself out there. I'm sorry that that happened to you and your pack. This is why we fight, to keep that from happening to others. And so that's why we need to learn how to fight. Because there are going to be those out there who aren't willing to talk, aren't willing to listen or learn. All they want to do is hurt. And to stop others from being hurt, we have to know ways to neutralize them. And some of them are going to be Guru sometimes.
No, these weren't Guru. I don't know what they were. They had these yellow heads and bodies and muffled words and clicking and clacking and cutting and blood and screaming and stabbing and hurting and pain and sorry.
No. Willow? Willow, you can look at me for a moment. There are plenty of things that are so scary that even when they're gone, they stick around. Yeah? The important thing is that right now, and with that he will gesture to around the bonfire, you're safe. You're among your fellow Garu. And though we might not have been there, we understand, and we want you to be able to look back at it and say, you didn't break me. Yeah?
No, because I tooth and clawed and then there were loud banging, but the blood. But it's. I don't think there was anyone still there, but I couldn't go home, so But it's. I know how to fight. I've fought. I just don't want to anymore. I had to fight for so long, and I just don't want to anymore, if I can help it. So I want to help it if I can.
As Willow finishes that, he looks over to Quinn, and for the first time with understanding, gauges the nature of their relationship a bit clearer.
Willow, have you ever heard of a game called Tag? I'm pretty sure there's a version in Lupus Society. It's where you would like nip at one and then go running away until they caught you and they nip at you, or it's play. It's a play game.
Yes, it is my favorite. Yes.
Good. So there is a game I'm going to teach you when we start working with the staffs called Counting Coup. It is a method of fighting by undermining and almost embarrassing your opponent. It's getting them to submit to defeat because they have to deal with the knowledge that you could have beat them but chose not to. And in Counting Coup, you take a position, and as others advance on you, you tag them with your staff. Or in other games, I don't know if you've heard of Capture the Flag, but you would go over to their fortress or their base and just tap the base with your hand to say, I got this far. You weren't able to stop me from getting this far. Think of the damage I could have done. So in a way, you're fighting, but you're not fighting.
No, the thing you said earlier about the embarrassment and that I want to do that. The most sinister grin is on Willow's face. Like, I don't think Quinn's seen a more maniacal look on Willow's face.
Well, we'll work on tripping and counterbalancing and using their own weight against them with the staff.
Yes, that sounds good. I like that. Yes, let's do that.
Terrence looks over to Izzy. We should take her to the academy at some point. I think that there's other things she could learn there that are less harmful, but still helpful.
You're good around people now, yeah?
I think I'm good around people, but people seem to look at me and then they think that I'm not good with people, which I don't get because I think I'm awesome with people, and people seem to like me really fast. So I don't get why people say that I'm not good with people.
Don't let the doubters convince you otherwise. Keep trying. Although, Quinn,
Yes.
what have you been teaching Willow?
Well, as children of Gaia, we are to learn all three triads within ourselves and amongst us. And so, because she is a lupus born, I have been teaching her human things because that is what she has the most trip up with.
But I'm good at reading, and I'm good at drawing, and I'm good at singing, and I'm good at gifts ish, kind of. I'm still learning them. But I think I'm good at them.
She is not good with talking with humans.
I think I am.
No, you are not.
Why not?
Because people think you are either too naive or not altogether there mentally.
I don't know what that first word means, but the second
Altogether
thing sounds
there?
bad. No, I didn't know naive.
Naive. Innocent.
It's
Why is that bad? Isn't that a good thing?
it's not. It's not bad, but it's also something that doesn't last because we learn, and
It's a
that
starting
takes away.
position.
Yeah. For example, you were naive in a lot of the ways to humans until you were able to turn into one. You were naive to the concept of reading until you learned how. Losing that naivety, becoming more informed, more smart about things isn't a bad thing because it's how you use what you've learned that determines whether it's bad or good. If you use it for good, like to teach others or to help, that's not a bad thing either. In fact, that's a great thing. That's going from good to great.
So I'm just starting. So that doesn't mean I'm bad. It just means I'm not there
No.
yet. And you saying that I'm bad is bad.
Not how that works, but I appreciate the attempt. Oh, you're sticking your tongue out at me, huh?
No, that
You know
was
what
a
that
Quinn.
means.
No,
Quinn,
that was a Quinn.
You taught her very many bad habits.
What can I say, Moragawash?
Unbelievable.
I think they're great habits.
I'm sure all the humans you meet are going to love it when you do that to them.
I think it's funny.
It is very funny.
Well, we've been asking all the questions. Do you have any questions for us?
You have formal permission if you need one of your elders to say it like that.
No offense, Ent. You don't really act like an elder.
No.
No, he's more fun. Izzy, you
Yeah.
said you were the oldest. How oldest are you?
I have seen the birth of... I mean, I'm 27.
I mean, like, Garu-wise.
Ah. Well, I had my first change when I was 16-ish. So what's that? A little over 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm old. I'm basically in the grave.
I can't even, like, think of how old that is.
It's
Another
5
reason
years
why
older
you need
than
more
I am,
training.
Willow.
So it's basically 2 Quins worth of experience.
Can you teach me stuff?
Who's to say I haven't already? After all, we're in our first training session right now.
Now you're just being coy.
Yeah, but also I planned this from the beginning, so I get to be coy.
Fair enough.
You're cool. I like you. You're nice. All the other old people, except for Eliza, have been like grumpy. You're like not grumpy, and I like stupid like that. So thank you for not being grumpy and annoying.
Don't worry, there's a lot to be grumpy about, and you're gonna see me grumpy plenty of times. But for now, this is nice.
Quinn, you go, and we'll like kick him in the shin.
Go and do what?
It's questions time.
I don't have any questions. I've got
Oh,
all my
come on,
questions
why
in.
are you
Ragadash
boring?
doesn't have any questions. Oh my, this is gonna look poorly on the report.
Poorly. What report?
You don't know why I'm here.
Well, I assumed you were just a friendly tribe mate, but I guess we're being reported on.
Mm-hmm.
He's a bad elder, Willow.
I think he's a pretty awesome elder compared
Well-
to some of the other elders. I think he's pretty cool. So maybe you should take some lessons from others.
Okay, what others should I take lessons from, Willow?
Izzy, he's your superior.
And I will absolutely take lessons from him.
Then ask questions. You're being
I don't have any
boring.
questions. He's
We-
pretty much answered all of it.
We have plenty of time for that. I don't think any of us are going anywhere anytime soon. And Terrence gives a meaningful look towards Quinn. I think you'll find Tampa is the place to be now.
Yeah, I'm getting that.
It's different. Very different. But different isn't bad. Different can be good.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm finally learning that.
Well, great. Willow, I am a little bit of a photography nut. I love using cameras. So I was wondering if you would like to go for a run in the woods one day and I could take pictures of you. I used to photograph wolves all the time.
He
Would
showed
Quinn
me
have
some of his
taught-
album.
Would Quinn have taught Willow what a camera is?
Probably through his phone. He's probably
Okay.
taken many photos with you and him.
Okay. Then yes. Yes, that sounds fun. I would like to do that, please. Thank you.
Good. Okay. Well, it's getting late. I think this is a wonderful first gathering, but we can't get it all out in one day, so let's plan on doing this again soon. And we'll start lessons as soon as you're ready, Willow.
Yes. Less time away doing the boring things would be good. Yes, please.
Oh, there's going to be plenty of boring stuff to do, don't you worry. In fact, probably next time we'll have to touch on Black Unicorn.
What's that?
See you next time.
What? No.
As the conversation comes to a close, you enjoy each other's company a little longer, sharing a meal, sharing stories. Terrence regales you with a few more of the stories he learned up in Georgia. And it's nice. It feels tranquil and peaceful, like these gatherings should. What's going through your minds after this encounter with your fellow children of Gaia? We'll start with Quinn, then Willow, then Izzy.
Quinn is excited to see other tribe mates. He definitely jives a lot better with his tribe than with anyone else. But he is also still reeling with his recent information dump from Artie and now informing other people of other things that he's going through to help subvert Willow from having to tell her own story. So he is kind of in his feels, a little bit fidgety and agitated, but he is otherwise listening and content.
Willow.
Willow kind of feels really at peace and is not really thinking about much. Having told them as much as Willow has, that's brought quite a bit of ease. And the fact that they're playing with Willow, that's the best. Like, no one else has given that energy to Willow, and it just feels safe and peaceful, and Willow wants a million more hours like this.
And Izzy.
As Izzy walks away, no doubt, driving back to the home with Terrence, he'll be having a lot of recollection about some of the small stuff, like, should I have been more stern here? And as he looks in the rearview mirror, seeing a car behind him, a flash of light in his eye, he shakes his head and goes, I'm so fucking old, man. As he thinks that, at least for a first impression, he hopes that not only did he present himself as someone worth going to in times of need, but also hopes that the meeting with the newbies means that he at least understands them enough to where he is able now to provide them the experience and expertise that he has and that he feels that they might need going forward.
From a place of peace and tranquility, we go now to a place of extreme danger and tension as we travel 1,200 miles north for our next scene. Forged and Juniper, you have been on the hunt for Cooper, and that hunt has taken some very interesting twists and turns. With the developments that occurred in Ann Arbor, in Burns Park, at the home of Forged and his family, we now find ourselves in Hell, Michigan, a place you once called home. Well, maybe, and very temporarily. This place has a lot of memories, not all of them good. Although maybe some of them are starting to take a new shine toward the better. When you arrive in the township of Hell, there's a definite shift in the feeling of the place. Whereas before, it might have felt stuffy and oppressive to a rebellious youth, or where it might have felt like cold and empty, trying to avoid a connection but needing it more than ever. Now, just feels dead. As you're entering into the township, it is a ghost town, quiet and lifeless. Even the trees surrounding the area seem duller, as they're supposed to be starting to grow back their leaves in the next month or so. It seems like it is going to be an uneventful spring from the looks of things. Stopping by Half Moon Lake, the position of the Cairn and Sept, there's no obvious signs of destruction or decay. But that energy, that force that you've come to know as the center of the Cairn, that peaceful calm, has vanished. As the Cairn has fallen dormant from lack of upkeep and use for many, many months now. You could still see the signs of the old camp that took place around the cairn, but it has been weathered and worn by a harsh winter. Unused, untrod. No tracks or footfalls to be seen. Just nothing. And so you head back to town to go check out the saloon, a place where you worked, gathered, were introduced to one another. And the saloon has a large for sale sign out front. The building seems closed and quiet, except for one light shining through the window. As you arrive in the gravel parking lot, bringing your rental Jeep to a stop, the scene is yours.
Ford steps out of the car, the gravel making noise underneath his foot, crunches as he takes a few steps forward, shutting the car behind him, swinging car door behind him. He looks up towards the window, staring for a moment before leaning on the Jeep, looking over to Juniper. Thought things couldn't get any worse, but seems like Michigan just has more and more surprises, huh?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I had a bad feeling that something like this was going to happen once we learned that, well, you know, I'm just really sad to see it like this.
I mean, I would have expected it to be more like how it was always described and how what things we've seen of like fire and brimstone, hellscape filled with terrible monstrosities and everything, but this is just sad. Just I don't know.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say. Like, just looking at everything.
I'd like both of you to roll me a wits and survival.
You got it.
I don't suppose my specialty of defensive awareness would come into play here.
Not in this case, no.
What's our rage at right now?
I'm going to say you're at a 2, both of you, because things have started to ramp up, the encounter with your family.
I'm just gonna rock with my 2 successes.
Eh.
I am gonna spend a willpower.
All right.
All right, that brought me up to 5 successes.
Juniper, you're the only one to pick it up, but there is a sudden scent that hits your nose that is unmistakable. With as much time as you've spent in your lupus form roaming the woods, you've become very accustomed to certain smells, certain sounds, certain experiences. What you smell is contrary to what you've seen, what you've felt, and it stands out because even in your memory of being here, never before have you experienced this smell. but the smell is that of wolf urine. It appears the building has been marked recently. Someone marking their territory.
My eyes narrow in on the affected area. And I look over at Forge. It seems someone thinks that this place belongs to them. Somebody marked it with their piss.
Forge's eyes narrow, like kind of look almost a little weirded out. Like, I didn't think that'd be like a lupus-born thing, but I guess technically all of us can do it. If that's the case, I guess we should probably go about this a bit more careful, huh? Not just a nice reminiscing visit.
Yeah. I know we don't technically own the place, but I can't help but feel this is a bit disrespectful.
Both of you roll me a wits and awareness as well.
You know, I gotta ask, is it for something to find something lost or overlooked?
Sure.
Yeah.
I got 4 successes.
I also got 4 successes.
The marking appears to have happened on the corner of the building where it meets the majority of the parking lot. But from there, your eyes are drawn to an easily missed detail near the front door. This place is for sale, and buildings that are for sale often have a realtor's box hanging off of the front door, so any realtor can come by, put in the code, grab the key, and get access to the building. There is a realtor's box on this door, but it has clearly been broken off and is just hanging on the handle, loose.
Kind of getting closer to it, is there any key inside, or is it just empty? Or can we tell?
Going up to it and inspecting it a little further, you can tell it's been pried open and then just haphazardly shut again, and there is no key.
Well, looks like whoever wanted to get in didn't care for subtlety. Just guess we probably should expect a fight. Should we even go in at this point, or?
Well, we haven't necessarily been stealthy, so whatever's in there probably already knows that we're out here. Let me check something really quick, and I'd like to activate penumbral senses.
Sure. Go ahead and spend the willpower and make the roll.
Three successes?
You are able to gaze into the Umbra. This is not a highly Weaver-oriented area, so the gauntlet is a little thinner. Peering into the beyond, you can see the structure that is the building, but it looks like it too, even on the umbral side of things, has gone untended for quite some time. starting to fray and fall apart. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry for interrupting.
No, that's right.
I was gonna ask, like, does it look like it's been tampered with, specifically by like Banes or any like black spiral dancer bullshit, or is it just like natural, not tended to, just kind of wearing and breaking down?
More the latter in that case. Buildings, even buildings themselves, have a certain kind of energy with them. This one is devoid of any life or energy and clearly has been for some time. Whatever made up this building and made it what it is has long since gone. But you don't see any signs of anything that looks like tampering.
Well, the good news is that it hasn't been actively fucked with on the Umbral side. So whatever's in there might not necessarily be the big bad guys that we're after. I don't think it would necessarily be a bad thing to check it out.
I mean, the way that I snuck in and out on times, coming in and out of the saloon might still be not trapped, maybe? You want to try that? Or back door? Or just walking straight in?
We can try your route.
Yeah, I like that. I say, I imagine Forge has quite the experience with trying to slip in and out of the saloon unnoticed.
Yeah, I'd say so. If you'd like, you can make a dexterity and larceny to try and get in through the back door.
Would I have any bonuses?
For what?
For my knowledge of doing this often enough in the past? Or if it's too different, then I understand. I was just asking.
I'll give you an additional die bonus for experience, sure.
People call you a lot of things, Kent, but if they can't not call you generous.
Maybe I just want you to get in.
3 successes.
Okay. As you use your old tricks, finding the hidden key, slowly opening the door. It's dark inside, unsurprisingly, as you come in through the kitchen entrance. It's cold, too. Partially due to winter, partially due to the fact that these stoves, these ovens, clearly haven't been used in a while. There's a subtle coating of dust on the surfaces. And coming from the dining room area, a dull glow from a red bulb, which brings light into the kitchen. Now, red bulbs aren't that unfamiliar. It was the Hell Saloon, and they went for a very specific aesthetic. But it wasn't often the only light. And in this case, it is. Using your previous survival roll, Juniper, you smell blood.
I whisper to Forge just softly as I can. And there's somebody injured or dead here. I smell blood.
Forge nods as he'll look to probably the not very well maintained flooring of the Hell Saloon, knowing fuck, it's going to be almost impossible to walk across this floor without making some sort of noise or creak, as he's just going to try and slowly inch forward, praying that he doesn't stand on any loose flooring.
I will follow with my own stealth.
Both roll me a dexterity and stealth.
Two successes.
Okay.
Hey, also 2 successes.
Okay. Trying to be as quietly as possible, taking your steps slowly into the restaurant area, leaving the kitchen area, you can see almost instantaneously what has changed. For on every surface, there are Polaroids stuck to the walls, to the tables, to the bar. These Polaroids show ravaged and mangled Peru, the Hell Sept. There are pictures of Red completely skinned. There are pictures of many of the others torn to pieces, as well as members of the Wisconsin and Dayton Septs. And hanging from the chandelier in the center of the room is a hide of matted red fur that looks like it was torn clean off. From the hide hangs a note. You should have been there. Now's your chance.
There's like seeing this, taking it all in, the pretense of stealth just completely drops as Forge just stands straight up, looking at this in disgust, shock. There's fear welling up as he looked at this fucking psychotic setup. He just slightly glances over at Juniper, kind of lost for words right now.
Juniper looks fucking pissed. There is nothing but fury behind her eyes as she's just white-knuckled and shaking.
Juniper, give me a composure and resolve.
Okay.
We'll see just how angry you are.
That's gonna be a whopping 1 success, Kent.
Okay. Your rage is going to spike to 5. But you are not going to frenzy. But you are right on the brink. 0 successes would have been immediate frenzy. 1 success, you are barely keeping it under wraps, though.
I was 1 rage die away from the brutal outcome. What's 1? Forged? Are you sure you still want to fucking save your brother? Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to after this.
Forge, eyes linger on you for a second, then looks back on the scene in front of him as he his jaw clenches as he considers that question, not exactly having an answer immediately, before unclenching his jaw and saying, "We will see what happens. The mission here is saving Cooper, okay? Is the focus. Not killing him or even saving him. It's my kid."
Oh, we're gonna get your fucking kid back. We're gonna get your fucking kid back. One way or fucking another. Forged, this is probably the angriest I have ever been.
Roll me a wits and investigation. There are so many photos, so many Polaroids.
At this point, I'm scared to ask if I get my rat bonus here. I don't know if I want to find what I want to find.
You do.
Oh, great. You know what? I'll use the willpower. Just because I'm feeling it. It didn't change anything. 3 successes.
Okay. You know how when you were at home, all those photos were gone? The ones with you in them? Well, you find them. The place where your face was completely burned out. You also find some photos paper clipped to a map. As you pull off the photos, looking them over, there's nothing that exciting about them. It looks like a development site where earth movers have moved a bunch of the dirt away. But as you unfold the map, it's just a section of a map, a cutout of a larger map. And it's got a big red circle in a location in Manistee, a location where the property has been bulldozed, the trees have been cut down, and a housing development is in the process of being built.
Forge, like, looking at these, kind of looks over to Juniper, showing these.
You can see in red lettering, "Welcome Home," written on it.
I immediately turn around and punch a fucking wall.
Okay, roll me a strength and brawl.
It's all rage.
Okay.
A whopping 2 fucking successes. Great, we're having such a fucking fun time.
So as you smash your hand against the wall, your hand probably takes more of the damage than the wall does. Take 2 points of superficial damage as you slam into the wall, but you can see some of the actual pictures from the restaurant fall off of their hangers and shatter onto the floor.
I would like to try and use the pain to ground myself a little bit.
Okay, give me another composure and resolve check then.
Forge watching from a little bit of a distance, a safer distance, as he's kind of waiting to see what her reaction is, if she can calm herself down before seeing if he should step in to try and help. He's trying to trust that she can compose herself.
Okay.
No successes. Only a single little brutal on the die.
The straw that broke the camel's back. The photos of a home long torn down and paved over. A legacy for generations uprooted and gone. Any evidence of what was Caern torn away. As these thoughts enter your head, Juniper, Your eyes go red, your sight blinded, as you make the shift into Krynos form and just begin unleashing hell upon this restaurant, upon this place that was once a place of contention, a place of growth, a place of coming into your own, finding a new family, a new direction. As you start lashing out, your target for now is the bar. So I'm not even going to make you roll, because in a Krynos form, you are just, even if you took half, you'd be just tearing tables off of the floor they're bolted to and throwing them across the room, breaking the booths and benches and chairs. As you are unleashing this carnage upon your once place of employment, Forged, roll me a wits and survival check.
All right. Four successes.
As you're trying to keep aware of the situation, watching Juniper go on this rampage in the restaurant, you pick up a smell. It's not the smell of urine or food or stale beer. It's the smell of gas. Juniper, I need you to roll me a d10. Just a single d10.
I rolled a 10.
Okay. All it takes is a single spark. But luckily, Juniper has not yet done anything to the light fixtures. But if she does, this place will go up.
It's a moment of realization of smelling the gas. Having a flashback to the last time I was in an explosion, which was not very good. As staring at the rampaging Juniper, I know what I have to do here. This is not going to be fun. I assume it's daytime, right? So I can't howl at the moon even.
Nope.
Fuck. All right. Well, can I at least say my rage has gone up at this point at all, or?
Yeah, I'd say you're at a rage 3 for sure.
Okay, yeah, because then now I will. I gotta shift Krynos and try and get her to fuck out of this bar before she blows herself up.
Okay, give me the 2 rage checks.
All right. Failure. We're at 1 rage right now. I'm not really feeling this.
You are able to shift, however. So as you grow into your massive Krynos form, what are you going to do? She is actively destroying the place. She's moved from the booths to the stage where she's picking up the speakers and smashing them onto the ground.
Yeah, I don't trust my capabilities of talking her down or to convince her the path of chilling out. So there's only one other better option here to get her out of here quickly, and that is through force. And I'm going to try, and the first thing I'm going to try and do is just try and grab her and drag her out. Essentially, see if I can get her some sort of like holding her arms like full Nelson and just pulling her out.
Give me a strength and brawl opposing, so Juniper, strength and brawl as well.
That's a sort of decent roll. How good are 13 successes, Ken? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Out of 11 dice, I only got 4 successes.
Okay, so as Forged comes up from behind and starts to manhandle you, dragging you away, you're not going to go down without a fight. You're lashing and kicking and attempting to break free, possibly even to turn your sights on this individual who would try to stop you. Roll me another d10.
I rolled a 5.
As you are dragging her out towards the back door, towards the front door, towards any means of egress to get out of the building, she lashes out and smashes one of the electrical lanterns hung upon the wall. This causes a spark to ignite. I need both of you to roll me a dexterity and athletics.
I'm going to ask, would I be able to potentially use Hare's Lee? Actually, no, never mind. I'm not going to because it's a rage check and I might lose the wolf if I do that.
Would a brutal outcome in this count as a success?
What are your verbs and adverbs? Because you're not doing damage. You are trying to avoid being damaged.
True. Okay. Cleverly, provocatively, and subtly avenge, dismantle, and demolish.
No.
All right, so that's a brutal outcome and 4 successes.
Okay.
I got 5 successes. Nothing special with it.
As the building explodes, you are both thrown from the building. Juniper, you take 5 points of aggravated damage from the flames. Forged, you take 4 points of aggravated damage from the flames. This causes both of you to gain a rage, although Juniper, you can't, you're at 5. As you're thrown out into the parking lot, the remains of the building starting to rain down around you. There's one thing that hasn't quite been resolved yet. The rampaging guru. Juniper, give me a composure and resolve check. But if you fail, you are going after Forged.
How many negative dice would I have for that, since I'm in a frenzy and everything?
You can roll your full pool. The difficulty will just be a little higher.
Okay. 3 successes.
Make me a strength and brawl attack. Forged, give me a dexterity and athletics or a strength and brawl of your very own.
Yeah, mine's gonna be a strength and brawl to try and essentially pin Juniper down, and first assumption, get her to tire herself out, except second course of action, choke her out. We got there's 2 options we got right now.
That's fair.
I'll use a willpower. This is kind of important.
Yeah.
9 successes, crit.
Yeah, once again, on 11 die, I only got 4 successes.
Okay, so wrapping Juniper up in a grapple once more, you start to put on the lock around her neck and start to try and squeeze the life out of her. Juniper, take... What was the difference there? You got 4 successes. How many did you get, Forged?
9.
9. Okay. So take 3 points of superficial damage already halved. Actually, that's... Sorry. 5 points of superficial damage already halved. How are you looking?
My extra Krynos bars are filled up with my ag damage, and my health is at full superficial.
Okay, so you are now impaired, so you will be at a -1 dice to all attacks going forward, but you're not out yet, so give me another strength and brawl as you attempt to break free of the grapple.
Just currently... I'll use another... Actually, I think that would... I think I am going to impair myself for this. Impair my willpower, because I really need Juniper to not murder both of us again. 10 successes, crit.
Okay. Juniper?
I got a brutal outcome plus 2 successes.
So a total of 6 successes. Okay. So that's difference of 4, which would make it another 4 points of superficial damage already halved to you, Juniper, as he's squeezing the airway shut, squeezing the blood flow to the head. Let me know when you're full of ag, because that's when you will pass out. But until then, you are still standing.
I got 2 more.
Okay, then one more round of opposing strength and brawls.
Eight success, crit.
Nine success with a brutal outcome.
Okay. Forged. You take... Let's see here. This is quickly... Okay. Forged, you take 2 points of aggravated physical damage as she bites down upon your arm, rending herself free of your grasp. I guess we're still going.
All right.
Now you have broken free of the grapple. You can turn your full attention to Forged.
I'm going to take an ag damage of willpower because she just does not want to go down. 9 successes.
Five successes with a crit. And that should do it.
Okay. Yeah, with a solid strike across the side of the head, that red vision turns to black as you fall unconscious, dropping to the ground, shifting out of Krynos form. Forged, standing over the unconscious form of your friend. What do you do?
I have a question because it might be important. my
Sure.
Luna's Blessing, I gain a rage when I personally bested an opponent in combat. I think that would qualify, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I need to regain some health. So it's for how much to heal Ag?
Well, normally you would have to make 2 rage checks to heal Ag, but as you attempt it, nothing happens.
Yeah, ouch. That hurts. So I am in a precarious situation here. I'm just gonna take, because I'm in Krynos. If I leave Krynos, I am going to fall unconscious because of the damage that Juniper inflicted onto me.
Yep.
So my essentially this right now, looking down, like trying to heal, finding out that I can't, looking down at Juniper, realizing that we're going to need, because I know that I won't die as long as I have rage if I'm hidden, or at least
But you will continue to lose willpower because you're not doing damage.
Yeah, I meant more like once I fall out of Krynos, I won't die because I have rage. I'll just be severely impaired, right? Or like, no, what's the word? I'll be unconscious, and then
You'll
will
be
I naturally heal?
unconscious. You will attempt to naturally heal. You still have to make the rage checks each following day to try and heal. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so the goal here essentially is just to get to somewhere presumably safe to make sure that we don't die in the meantime.
Okay, give me a... Well, she fell out of her Krynos form into Hamid, so I won't even require a strength and athletics check for you to pick her up and start running into the woods that surround the establishment. I need you to spend 2 more willpower, however, for the time it'll take you to get there. To
That's
stay
fine,
in
but
Krynos.
I've only 1 away from, losing completely to max willpower damage.
Mm-hmm. So as you rush with Juniper over your shoulder into the woods, you eventually reach a point where you feel like it's now or never. You have to drop out or you are going to completely pass out regardless. But as you drop to the ground, the body of your friend falling beside you, your vision also fades to black as the 2 of you fall unconscious to the ground in the middle of the woods you used to roam, woods you were quote unquote trained in, woods that were once yours but are no longer. This is where we'll go to break. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the second half of tonight's story. As we return, we find ourselves once again at the cairn. The beautiful Florida sunshine shining down upon the clearing. The warmth returning to the state that has been hit by cold front after cold front after cold front in an almost torturous display of Mother Nature's wrath. But now it's on the rise once again. It's a beautiful day to be at the cairn, although most days are, even when the weather would disagree. There's something about this place, this energy, that makes it feel like home, even if it's not. This is where we find Aspen, Jester, Eliza, and Artie, all standing by, having been called together for a meeting with the pack leader of the Hellhounds, Delphine Gaia Speaker. Delphine, you may begin the scene with your entrance.
So, Delphine has prepared for today, for this meeting, by having 100% used the printer at her new place of employment, Pelfrey and Weiss, to print out some folders, some stapled, nice-looking pamphlets on a bunch of research she has been doing since meeting supervisor of the area, the neighborhood. And of literally everything around that cigar factory. And it's all been typed up, all neatly coded and separated with little tabs. And she comes over, her type anus finally shining through in all of its glory. And as she steps up to the meeting table for the Sept, she just sets the stack down in front of her and looks to the elders, a little bit of an excited twinkle in her eye. And she'll just look to them and just say, "So I have a proposal."
Aspen will lean forward, looking at the papers, a little bit excited because she likes to see people with their paperwork and everything ready to go, and looks over to Delphine. What can we do for you?
So a couple weeks ago, I was out with Quinn, getting to know him, showing him around Ebor. We went to eat lunch, and I was getting to know him since he's part of the Sept now. And we ran into... She looks to Eliza this time. We ran into a font of power in the city.
Really?
Yeah. It was, and there was we found a weaver spirit, a pattern spider. It was all by itself, and it was asking for help, wanting to help fix it. And I was telling it I would help out the best I can. But before I came with you guys, I wanted to do some research, because like what I'm about to ask is a very big ask. And she'll set the she'll start sliding some each little packets each to each of them. I think this could be the second Cairn for the Sept.
Artie greedily scoops up one of the packets and starts immediately flipping through the pages, speed reading down each page as he does.
Jester will pick up one of the packets and flip through it, reading through.
So inside the packet, they will find just a bunch of easily labeled sections. Information about the factory. They'll find a map, a Google map of a screenshot of a proposed bond and how far it would extend. there's information about potential risk factors, what the Caern can serve to function, ideas for the area. It's all completely written down and thought through, and to the point that there's even a list of businesses around that that the Sept as a whole could engage in. It's just all of it. Just the most organized thing that she has ever done in a long, long time.
Well, right out the gate, there's something that we should address and discuss: the proximity to the castle, one of the off-limits locations of the leeches. Only just a couple blocks away.
And I'm aware of that. I think that that's okay. I think that if we're going to be doing this alliance with the leeches, this agreement with them, this Caern is fantastic, but it is with traffic an hour away from the downtown area. We have no functioning presence within the city. If we really want to make the leeches be wary of us and respecting those boundaries, we need to show that there are some of us within the city. And if we're breathing down their necks, that's just going to cement that.
To that point, though, how do you plan on protecting this place? Having it so close to leech territory that could potentially put you all in danger, and a place as sacred as a cairn can't just be known to leeches.
That's the thing. I would want to hide it in plain sight. A city Caern is not something that is easy to hide. There's people everywhere. You can tell that this place of power is right in the middle of a residential neighborhood. So something that I've seen a lot on TikTok and stuff is people take buildings like this and they turn it into either housing for multiple for communities, or, and this is my idea, they turn it into something that gives back to the community. We could turn this into a community center.
So
Having a community center would invite a lot of people into the cairn and the sacred space that it is. How do you propose on keeping the veil then?
Scary business wouldn't be discussed on site unless it was closed after hours.
How do you rectify an emergency if everyone needs to be there to discuss, or for safety? Then what?
She points to she points on her own packet to the 3 houses next door to the building. We rent these houses out. They're listed on Zillow. We do rent to own agreements. We're in our 20s, early 20s, so buying and mortgaging isn't exactly something that we could do right now, but rent to own is completely within our wheelhouse.
So we would need funding for this. Is that correct? I don't think that the Hellhounds as a whole have the funding for that, correct?
For the pack houses, no, we wouldn't want funding. I honestly think that you should let us do that part on our own.
that's all well and good, and I definitely appreciate how thorough you've been in the planning of this. You've really covered a lot of the bases. I think one of the bases that goes uncovered, though, right now is your pack's gone through a lot of upheaval recently. Change in leadership, questions of trust, opening a cairn, maintaining a cairn requires a certain level of stability. Do you think your pack has that level of stability, especially considering 2 members just went running off?
I think my pack needs a project that they can work on together to finally actually bring them together.
Something as big as a cairn, though, is where you'd like to start.
I can't say that this is the smartest idea and the smartest project to start out with, but
Well, speaking of that, from experience, you're also threatening the goodwill of the spirits, whatever goodwill you have, if it's not managed appropriately and handled appropriately.
it's my understanding that we don't really have the best of relationships with the spirits within the city already.
That's been worked on and rectified and is continuing to be rectified.
Continuing to
even-
be rectified. So something that should still be actively getting worked on, but we're always here.
I will say, to Delphine's credit, opening another cairn could help with the goodwill of the spirits because it does provide refuge and safety to more of them than even this cairn provides. I mean, this cairn's great, but it appeals mostly to the wild. We're not really weaver friendly here. So maybe having something to counterweight it with the weaver wouldn't be a terrible idea.
Okay, that's a good point, but it also could go completely opposite and be a detriment to the spirits that we've just started to have in good graces. So my question to you, Delphine, is with you being pack leader and also Theurge, who would be handling the spirits in your absence with all of the projects and work that you have to do as a pack leader?
I've been spending a lot of time with Willow. Being a lupus born, she is very comfortable around spirits already. She's more fond of them than people.
I don't think she has the education. I understand lupus born have different education, but I don't think she has the education for these spirits. In my personal opinion, I think someone like Juniper or someone like Ray would be smarter, especially with him learning, and she'll look over to Eliza. From Eliza might be a better idea.
Her lips kind of pressed together in just a little bit of a hard line, and you see the paper from the package just kind of like crimple a bit as she, like, her hands, the grip on the paper tightens a bit. I'm personally being logical, and I'm trying not to make any plans involving Forged and Juniper as much as I would like. I am hopeful that they are going to be coming back. I have to also be logical about it. They went deep into enemy territory, and I have to understand that there is a potential of them not coming back.
There is another possibility, Eliza says, looking to both Aspen and Jester, and then finally on Tardy. What about Terrence? As sort of an intermediary, he's here. He's been taught and trained, and perhaps he could at least educate Willow enough so that she could take over once the education is complete. 2 children of Gaia, they already seem to be buddying up pretty quickly.
That could work.
Aspen looks over to Jester, kind of gives a look if he's up for it, and then we'll continue to look at Jester.
Yeah, if he's up for it, but I'm pretty sure he's wanting to help out around, and this could be very useful, um, especially on teaching Willow. While she is a lupus born and does have a special connection, she doesn't seem to understand that people and spirits can trick you with kindness.
Right. Storyteller, do I notice the contempt from Delphine?
Roll me a wits and insight. Or actually, I'll go with intelligence and insight because you've been spending a lot of time with Delphine, especially working with her now.
What's the
Rage 1.
Rage 1, and manipulation and subterfuge is the opposite. Or performance.
five with crit?
4.
Could be nerves for the presentation that's happening, but you're not able to immediately intuit the feelings towards Raymond.
Okay.
To his credit as well, Terrence knows this city probably better than most of us, aside from Audie here. If anyone would know how best to navigate the local politics, especially the street level politics of the city, it could be Terrence. And as Jesta said, he wants to help. I'm sure of it. And this could be a interesting trial for him.
I agree. I think that would be helpful to have a different perspective in this new Caern.
Delphine, would you be willing to accept Terrence's assistance?
Delphine will give a nod. I didn't know what Terrence's overall status in terms of his presence here was going to be, so none of my planning factored him in, but I've spoken with Terrence since he's been here. We've talked about how we've been trained and everything. It's not nothing I would be opposed to.
Artie, at this point, is still looking down at the packet. I think I'm stuck on the idea of it being a community center. Because even if it was during calm times, peaceful times, if people are inside and the spirits decide to send a message, they're not going to be biased on who's present necessarily. And there are significant risks to the veil. However, as a counter proposal, what about a food pantry? A place where people could drop off at the door and pick up at the door for shelters and the like, but they don't actually have to enter into the facility.
She turns to a page where underneath it just says proposed cover businesses, and in the description it says that the center will house a food bank, community garden, and charity closet.
Could also be a drop-off center like many of the centers are around here. They don't go in. They usually have somebody waiting out front to pick up whatever's being dropped off, and then they bring it in and sort it and then send it off to the stores to be sold.
Yeah, I think the issue isn't with like it being some sort of outreach, like just people coming into the Cairn itself. Even if you guys aren't having meetings or things, there is still a risk because it does draw spirits and other beings, creatures to it because of the power that it is, especially when it's awakened.
Now, the benefit to an urban cairn is anyone else worried about risking the veil would, or whatever they call it, risking being exposed would have reason to be cautious or to avoid doing it all together because of the risk that poses. It is kind of hiding in plain sight, but also using the surrounding community as a shield of sorts. Now, there are some entities that won't care at all, and those are a little bit more dangerous than those that would, but it's something to consider.
She nods and fiddles with the ends, like the end of her sleeves a little bit as they're bringing up these very valid points. And her nerves getting to her just a little bit.
Jester will give her a gentle smile, be like, "It's okay. This is a partial brainstorming thing."
I'll be honest. I know that it's always risky for a city, Caern, but we wouldn't be like, there are others that have done it. I could talk to maybe Anna and see if she has some insight about that to add into the considerations as well. She's from Chicago. They have to have city Cairns in Chicago.
I don't believe that us having our concerns is a no. It's just bringing them up so we know what we're all getting into as a Sept. I do have a question that's a little bit more personal to your pack. How do you see quelling your different members who have had dealings with the worm within that cairn?
Well, Ray would be my chief concern. That spirit said it wanted access, and now it would have it. I have to be honest that I don't know if I would necessarily feel comfortable in him while that thing's attached to him. Being part of the right.
Aspen will go to speak, but instead defer to Eliza.
The worm is a complicated business because the worm isn't inherently evil. There are parts of it that are sick, or certain parts of it that have been twisted or corrupted, but not all entities of the worm should be considered evil. They are a part of the greater balance. That all being said, Raymond's training has just begun, and whatever this thing is that's attached to him needs to gain some sort of control over it before I think he could confidently take part in this. Now, there are a few possibilities. One, you wait until his training's complete, at which point he can participate in the rite of the Cairn building or establishing, or you do it without him. And that lowers the chance of this worm spirit gaining access, as they won't have been a part of the building process and therefore won't inherently have that kind of access. They might be able to see in, they might be able to see through him, but they will not be able to access some of the more inner functions of the Cairn if he is not giving them the ability to do so. But then you run into the issue of him potentially feeling left out, further driven out of this pack, and I would advise against it as an outsider.
Couldn't we just do a rite of abjuration on him? Drive the spirit out? That's something that was agreed on. Getting rid of it.
That's not a possibility.
How so? I know the right. All the Theurges in the Sept know the right.
As a part of what Ray has gone through and the missteps he's taken, I believe that this should be something he learns to take care of on his own.
I agree. While it is good to work together to use your pack to assist in these matters. If he is to truly become a Bane tender, if he is truly to learn this craft and this art, which he seems interested in doing, he needs to learn how to do some of these things alone, because being the tender is to work alone a good majority of the time. Also, this type of binding is a little more complicated because it was willingly. It was not forced upon. A willing subject inviting in such a thing to try and attempt a rite of abjuration could do more harm than good.
Her teeth are her jaw's kind of set a little bit as she like grits her teeth a bit, but she doesn't necessarily say anything in objection.
And as was pointed out previously, our relationship with spirits, and with Eliza saying that all worm spirits aren't corrupt, to have a disgruntled spirit right off the bat might be problematic.
Now, as a counterpoint, and I'm not even the Ragabash at this table, if this font of power is noticeable, there are others in the city who could try and seize such power for themselves. She looks towards Aspen specifically. And that is something we would want to avoid, allowing their reach to grow.
Aspen nods and looks down, and you see her jaw set a bit. I think it would be a risky time to push hard on this subject. I think it should be done slowly and with thought, as to not put anyone in more danger.
Now, there are preparations that could be made, endearing themselves to the local spirits without opening the can officially until the time is right. But I think taking some claim and ownership over the territory would not be a terrible thing.
Which I actually have an idea on that, though it gets into a little bit of a gray area. So, first off, I do want to let you, Aspen, know as leader of the Sept that I followed up with Jordan, and he does not seem to have any memory on most of what went down. He doesn't seem to know anything about us. He knows we're different, but he doesn't seem to know how.
Understandable. She'll look over to Eliza. With something of that nature within him and the rite of abjuration, what could be allowed to be known for someone in that situation?
Well, from what I understand, were the rite successful, he would have become a Ghislaine. After having that much exposure to spiritual energies of that sort, it would build up a sort of resistance to the effects we have on them, basically being hardened against it. Now, we are also walking into untrod territory. I can't say for certain what would happen in this instance, but I think that either way, a solution must be made, whether it is to bring him further in and give him more knowledge and a little bit of trust being extended to him, or wiping his memory.
Is that possible?
Yes.
Interesting.
I could, with some time and effort, have him remember nothing since the incident that the Bane entered into his system, possibly even longer. But if I were to do that, there is also likelihood that he would go seeking Raymond or try to go home, which he cannot do as he is presumed dead or missing. And there are its own risks that come with that. But people with amnesia have been found before, probably due to those within the supernatural society, but the humans know of it and aren't that thrown off by it.
Then I think we defer to the pack leader and cairn builder. And she'll look over to Delphine.
Can I say something for?
Of course.
Just as a note of someone who has been through similar circumstances as Ray and didn't quite know that memories could be erased. That aside, maybe, it might be good for Ray to have Jordan still around and not have his memories erased. It gives him a chance to build that bond again, and losing someone you care about to that amount, we all know, is really, really harmful.
I agree. I think Ray should have input. But I think that that decision also needs to be made by the both of them, because it does put the pack in potential danger as well. But I think that's a conversation, and she'll look over to Delphine for you and Ray to have. And I think Jester makes excellent points, and those should be considered.
I was actually going to say that I don't think his memories should be wiped. For as angry as he seems to be with Ray, he also seems to have some possibility of being able to forgive him.
Also, I recommend that process very hesitantly. Removing someone's memory, especially the way we do it, altering someone's memory, is akin to what leeches do. And it can be very damaging to the individual, especially if done with the intensity of wiping out 2 years of memory. I prefer to avoid it, but in a necessary situation, I will use it.
Aspen will nod. But Delphine, I think it should be a conversation, even with your own thoughts on the situation.
I think Jordan would actually be useful for this cairn if he were to serve as a Ghislaine. It would keep him close. Just because he does have military training, I would be hesitant to let someone with his training go unchecked. But also he's an engineer, which leads me to what I was going to suggest. The spirit at the factory, it wanted help fixing a machine. It's a very old machine. I'm talking pistons and stuff. Like from the 50s.
Artie sits up at this point a little bit more straight.
But I think an engineer, especially a army trained engineer, could help with that. And while I didn't say what the job was for, I did speak to him about doing a job for us in exchange for, and she looks to Artie, state level ID and identity so he can get around a little bit.
That should be easy enough.
And you spoke to Raymond, and she gets a little bit more pointed, and you spoke to Raymond about this arrangement.
She hesitates and frowns a little bit. I haven't spoken to Raymond since. And she just trails off.
Understood. But he is still part of your pack, Delphine.
And I've been checking in to make sure he's taking his he's doing his responsibilities. But it's hard right now.
She'll kind of have a knowing look towards Jester, kind of like, we've been in these situations before.
Jester will nod to her and just sit back.
Artie speaks up again. I'm not opposed to any of this, to be completely honest. I think it's a good idea. Building a cairn brought us together. And while we had our issues during, the first year or so, I think it was an important bonding exercise for a bunch of strangers to take, near strangers to take. And having that sense of responsibility and accountability could be what they need. And I think maybe it is time that they go out on their own. However, and he looks towards Delphine, you're going to have to squash that beef with Ray real quick if you want to do this. Because if you go in with this kind of division, this kind of separation, a worm accessing your cairn is going to be the least of your problems. The right might not even succeed if emotions are high or tensions are high.
For our first cairn building, right, the whole right was attracted several banes, as well as other things that attacked our psyches, tried to break us. So going in when you already have several issues is not the best idea, at least in that right.
Can't have anybody compromised, anybody in the pack, anybody involved in the right whatsoever can't go in compromised. They have to go in strong and sturdy. It's like building a house. You can't build a house if your arm's broken.
She is not enjoying this part of the conversation, but she is just biting the inside of her cheek a little bit and just nodding.
At this point, Eliza reaches over and takes your hand, Delphine. If you need a mediator or somebody to assist in this process, I'm happy to do so. But as a theurge, we have the unfortunate responsibility of putting aside our own grievances as much as possible to do our jobs effectively, and as a leader, even more so.
Things unsaid cause more pain.
She looks at Eliza's hand for a moment and sighs a little bit. With all due respect, Eliza, if I was going to ask for a mediator, no offense taken, no offense to you at all, but I would have to ask for it to be Stakes, since she's been in this a lot longer.
No offense taken.
But all of that aside, I trust that you'll make the best choice for your pack. I think another good idea would be to have, well, hopefully when Juniper comes back, having a lay of the land so that you can have patrols, maybe turns to Jester. You and Charles could do a quick look around to kind of see where potential weak points could be to give them a leg up.
Jester will nod. Yeah, we can do that.
Ooh, Artie says.
Yeah, even Delphine's giving a little bit of just like side eye, just like, are we supposed to comment on that? Like just the whole concept of Jester and Charles paired together now has different connotations since they've gone public with their relationship in the Cairn.
Jester will grin and wink at Artie and then be like, it's business. It's work time.
Foreplay, got it.
Pleasures later. And she'll wink over at Jester.
Jester will laugh.
Well, if we are set on this, if this is a course of action we're considering taking, I can start to lay down some groundwork, some protections, start working with the Weaver spirits in the area to at least help redirect any focus from that building.
Actually, Artie, the Weaver spirit mentioned you specifically, as well as Regina and someone named Greer.
Oh, look at me, I'm famous.
Jester will blink and sit up for a moment. Really, Greer?
First thing you need to know, I do need to know, Artie, do you speak Spanish?
Sí, mucho.
Okay, good, because the Weaver spirit only speaks in Spanish.
But I'm glad I didn't skip that class in high school too much.
But also, yes, it mentioned Greer specifically, said it was his friend.
At this point, Jester is flipping back through the folder and looking over it thoughtfully. And then she'll look to Eliza. I think, wasn't Greer involved with the sages in finding another Cairn back then?
Yes, he was Alara's mentor, and he did assist in the finding and building of Cairns, yes. Mostly from a secure standpoint, but he also had a knack for feeling the vibrations of places that are potential Cairns.
So, interesting point. There actually were several open cairns with the old Sept that was here, the Sept of the Willow, Weeping Willow. I think they had like 5 or 6 that were actually open before the war with the leeches fully got into gear, and, well, the leeches teamed up with Black Spiral Dancers to destroy those cairns. Greer, I think, was a pack leader with one of the cairns. He had one of the cairns, but it was destroyed. If I remember correctly, she'll drift off like for a moment and kind of get a long stare. I think when the attack happened, he was in a coma, but I don't remember what happened after.
Could he still be alive?
She's staring off and her like brow is scrunched, like confused almost, like trying to remember something. I don't think Ryder ever checked. I think he avoided that hospital because of the leeches. She'll look to Eliza.
I wouldn't be sure. After everything that happened, I myself also withdrew from any semblance of the society in hopes of taking cover and protecting myself and Orion as best as possible. So I couldn't say for certain. Is it possible? Certainly. Is it likely? Considering the state he was in? No.
Jester's eyes will widen for a moment and she'll look to Aspen. They probably should move at least into the territory, if not opening the Cairn, but at least in the territory to keep an eye on the place, given recent circumstances.
I'm sorry, but if there's something going on that could potentially threaten and I'm wanting to open this up, I think I should at least know what the threat is. You guys are being vague about it, but not really.
Fenris is back in our territory. The cult.
And their two leaders, the last time they were here, belonged to the Sages, which was the pack I was talking about that opened Cairns. And so they may know of this location and would probably be good to keep eyes on it.
That's just more of a reason to protect it. Yeah, we need to get people in there for sure.
But your pack is currently split, so caution is of the utmost importance. Fenris, the cult, is not something that can be easily dissuaded. So your protection is my top priority. As I said before, I do think it is good to have eyes on it, but slow and thoughtful, so that you can have all of your ducks in a row before you move in on such a big endeavor.
I think it might be smart to rent one of these houses and at the very least have Stakes and Quinn move into it. They're both kin seekers. They'd be able to sense if kin are around.
Also, when you do open the can, should the cult still be nearby, they will feel it. They will be drawn to it. They have not been completely cut off from the nation's doings or anyone's doings that isn't one of theirs. They'll know when a can opens. But also, we don't want them to get it. We're going to have to play keep away.
Correct. It's a delicate process.
I think Stakes and Quinn. How do you find Quinn, Delphine? You've had more time with him at this point. Do you think he's trustworthy?
I think he's a little guarded. I also think he needs to be taught how to properly do a handshake. But I didn't get any indication that he's not someone to at least rely on to uphold the litany. And
Go ahead.
And if we task him with a job that's for Geru society, I don't doubt that he will do it.
Artie speaks up. Quinn's a good kid. We had a chat last week. They're a little nation brainwashed and programmed, but I think that with a job and with time, they'll come around. And I think that it's not a terrible suggestion.
Is he capable of defending the area?
That would be a question for Charles. He's been mainly handling that aspect of their training.
No, we know Stakes can.
Stakes definitely could, and actually Stakes, the Hell Sept had run-ins with Fenris in their history, so Stakes would be the most knowledgeable.
Then have Stakes and Quinn there, if Quinn is trusted by you, Delphine. Keep an eye on the place. You also keep an eye on the place. Keep us updated on any findings that you may have. And I think as long as you're smart and responsible, and we hold back on the official Cairn opening until we can get some things figured out, I think there's not a problem in you moving forward with this.
You said something about funding. I mean, if I stick to what I've been doing, I could have that funding in 3 months.
Then we can discuss this further in 3 months. I also think the rest of your pack should contribute.
All right, now I'm going to say the thing you're not going to like, Delphine. I don't think you should take the house. I think you need to move directly into the building.
Then that Cairn's going to be I will say that I do think that one of the one of the houses needs to be rented, because if we do move into the building, it's going to need some serious renovations.
Sure, but it's also going to need constant supervision. You don't want to be caught slouching or napping when they show up and take the place. We don't even know what kind of forces they're working with, but it sounds bad. So we need to probably have a more direct handling of the situation.
Gonna talk to Jace as well to keep an ear to the city to see their movements, so we have an idea of what they're doing. But I agree with Artie. Definitely be at the place, watch the place.
Well, it's got 3 floors. We could always just turn the 3rd floor into housing for the pack and for any visiting members of the Sept and like in general.
And you could use the house, but you should take shifts in the building. Somebody's got to be on location at all times.
So I did just want to get some clarification. We are good with potentially just bringing Jordan in, because one of the conditions of him also fixing that engine is if we told him what's going on.
Then you can speak to Raymond.
Her lips just snap shut. I'll speak to him.
Eliza says he should at least be aware, whether they have a tense relationship or not, whether they even have a relationship at all. They did for a very long time, and you wouldn't just be exposing all of our secret, you'd be exposing his secret as well. And he should have a say in that matter.
I understand.
Good. Then I think it's decided. She'll look at everyone else at the table.
Yeah, I can start getting my glass walker on and, get that place at least as fortified as possible. I can also put in some extra security measures, at least temporary ones, to keep an eye on the place. But I do think boots on the ground are necessary. And I'll start working with at least the Weaver spirits in the area to see if we can get something fixed up spirit side.
Yeah, and Charles and I can scout the whole area out and send you and Delphine a list of potential weak points, strong points, bolt holes, or things that could be used. Anything useful.
I know it's not the ideal answer, Delphine, but this is how this process goes. And trust me, you're going to be grateful you put in this work in advance. But this packet is extremely impressive. And if there weren't the few glaring issues, I would have said yes immediately. But I think that you need to stabilize your pack. And we need to make sure that you're ready for what this responsibility means. You've done amazingly already, but this is a whole nother matter. It really is.
She just nods. I get it.
Aspen nods as well. I believe in you, Delphine. I think you can make this happen. And I'm excited to see a new Caern thrive because of you.
Just give a little bit of a soft smile. Some anxiety still in it, but she just gives a grateful nod. Thank you.
Just for a smile. I think it was really well put together, and I think you have a good goal going forth, and I'm excited to see what you do with it too. Just remember, you're stronger with your pack. So, trying to communicate and solve grievances is important, especially when it comes to like when all of you are on a project like this.
I know, she just can't help but pull out her phone, which hasn't gotten any text message updates. Half of them aren't here. I just feel like I have to do a lot of all of the effort right now.
Just laying the foundation. The real work will come when they get back. It's going to be okay.
Best case scenario, they show up with a 2-year-old we're suddenly responsible for.
That is a whole nother issue. Yeah.
I don't know about everyone at this table other than Eliza, but I don't know how to take care of a kid. That's going to be a whole other thing that we're going to have to figure out as a pack.
We're here to help with whatever you need.
Right.
As the meeting concludes, a decision reached, albeit not final, but a decision regardless. Delphine, what's going through your mind after this meeting?
If the voice in her head could be animated, it would be a very whiny, like childlike moment of, but I don't want to talk to Ray because it is the little part, like the spoiled part of her that is having to do something that she really doesn't want to do because part of her wants to stay mad at him. And like, even after the conversation with Jordan helped a little bit, but Sean's face just keeps flashing in her head every time she thinks of all of this. And it's just the hardest part to get over. She is excited about this project and this work that she's been given because that work keeps her busy and keeps her occupied and keeps this, as stressful as the work can be, it keeps the voice away, that voice that just constantly wants to have her fall off the wagon. She's just a little jumbled right now and stressed, and she really doesn't want to talk to Ray, but knows she has to.
Speaking of people who don't want to talk to Ray, let's go to our final scene where Raymond goes to talk to Jordan. Raymond, been a few weeks since you've been back to this house. Been a few weeks since you've had to confront firsthand everything that happened, for better or worse. You got Jordan back, but did you get your friend back? From what was left off, it seems like no. As he said, he was hoping never to see you again, or speak to you again, and called you a monster. You're not a monster, not technically, but probably feels like it. With what happened to Sean, with this new arrangement, this new training you have to do. A part of that training means confronting your decisions, confronting the consequences of that decision, and finding some way to get closure about the whole deal. Because a wounded animal becomes a prey. And a wounded guru is prey for Banes. As you approach the house, you see a little cardboard sign on one of those wickets usually used for political signs or lawn mowing services, but it's handwritten on it, handyman, and has a phone number associated with it. Looking at the house, it looks better. For the first time in the time that you've owned it and the time you've moved in, it was always a little darker, a little dreary, a little corrupt. But now as you look, that corruption is gone. There's life in this house. You can see that the windows have been cleaned, the siding has been power washed off. Improvements have been made, but they were improvements without you. What are you thinking as you're about to approach the house and enter into this situation once more?
There's a lot going through my head right now. I'm trying to fight the urge to go back to my truck and drive away. It took me about 20 minutes to even leave my truck. And now standing in front of the house, it feels like cinder blocks are tied to my feet as every step I take just weighs me down. I know I have to talk to him. I know I should. I need to talk to him, but with the last things he said to me, will that even be possible? Or if I do talk to him, is it going to lead to even a worse situation? And that is what terrifies me the most. And so as I walk up, it's just a feeling of dread to knock on the door.
As you're standing at the door frame, your hand raised, prepared to knock, before you're even able to make contact with the door, it opens, and Jordan stands in the doorway holding a cardboard box. And upon seeing you, he frowns, but he says, "Oh, you're just in time to take out the trash, including yourself. Here you go." And he shoves the box into your hands, and as soon as you receive it, inside the box is any personal items you had left in the home.
Looking down in the box and taking in all the items that have been just tossed inside, I will look up at Jordan with a pained look, not for the items that are in the box, but just he doesn't know how to start this conversation. So as he's just looking at Jordan, his mouth is opening and closing. He's trying to figure out what to say, and
Wow, at a loss for words? Where was that the past 2 years? What do you want, Raymond?
I want to talk.
What's there to talk about? You here to check up on me like the suit or Delphine?
At that comment, I'll raise my eyebrow a little bit, but brush it off. I want to talk. I want to have a conversation between you and me. I want to talk about what happened, and I want to air everything out at this point, because I don't want this constantly holding over either of our heads.
Give me a charisma and persuasion.
Okay. What rage am I at?
I'd say you're probably at a rage 2. The anxiety and nerves about going into this. Rage isn't always anger. It's just intense emotion.
Does my specialization negotiation come into play?
I'll say yes, oddly enough.
Five successes.
Jordan stares at you, and you can tell from his posture and his hand placement, he's so ready to slam the door in your face. But instead, he just releases it and goes walking into the house, leaving the door open. You might as well get one last look at the place, since you're going to be giving me that title.
As he walks away, I will set the box of items on the doorstep and step inside following him. I mean, I didn't plan on keeping it forever, so.
Well, it's the least you can do, isn't it? I have nowhere else to go back to. You made sure of that. But despite the intensity of the situation, the tension in the air, Jordan walks into the kitchen, opening the refrigerator, and pulls out 2 beers, one of them both being your favorite brand of beer, one that you'd shared many times together. And he walks over and hands it to you. I'm really fucking pissed at you, you know?
I will take the beer and look at it, and as he says that, glance up and just nod my head. And yeah, I mean, the last things that you said to me, I'm not surprised.
Well, they needed to be said, even if I didn't entirely mean them, but I think you need to know it's not that you wanted to save me that was the problem. It's that you didn't listen when I asked you not to. I didn't get a lot of opportunities to talk to you, Raymond. I barely could register what was going on most of the time, but when I did, when I asked you, put me out of my misery, and you didn't, I think that's what hurt the most. Because if you were in the same state, I probably would have tried anything too. It's not about that. It's about the fact that no matter what, somebody died. And I wanted it to be me. I was exhausted. I was suffering. I was watching my body, or what was left of it, do terrible things to innocent people. And as a soldier, we both know that's what we were sworn to prevent.
I will put the beer down on the table without opening it and look at Jordan. You're right. You're 100% right. I thought about it at one point when, I think after about a month after you said that to me, there was a moment where you were turned away and I pulled my gun and I had it raised and I was debating. I just couldn't find the strength to pull that trigger. I couldn't bring myself to end it. Because like you said, like, you would be willing to try anything to save me if the situation was reversed, but I mean, I had a solution. And I wanted to pay that price. I was willing to sacrifice myself to save you. I know that would not be what you would have wanted. But I needed to be able to save you.
I already lost my life. I would have lost my best friend too. And honestly, if that had happened, I can't say for certain I wouldn't have put a bullet in my own head. Which would have meant it was all for nothing. Every time you faltered, it got stronger. It tormented me with it. And I can't entirely blame you, because I don't know how much about those things you know, or if you even knew what you were doing, but fucking sucked, man. Like, it sucked really, really bad. I just wanted it to be over. Anything to be over. Imagine that there's a pit in your stomach that's endless. You can't see the bottom of it, no matter how much you toss in there. And that pit is the pit that was me. That was everything I had been. Just eating away more and more and more. To be honest, I don't even know how I'm still here. Whatever fucking magic you guys did, whatever cottagecore witch shit you did, must have worked, but I'm not okay. Because now I have to live with this. I have to live with some dead guy on my conscience. I have to live with being mad at you. Because if I'm not, do you actually learn anything? Or are you just going to do it again? Do you even think it was wrong what you did when you say I'm right? Or do you just say that as a platitude?
I'm not just saying it just to say it, just to make you feel better. I mean, you have to live with the fact that, you know, his name was Sean, sacrificed himself to save you and to help me. But I have to live with the fact that I was the one that caused him to die too. It was my decision. And I can't even begin to imagine what you went through. I can't even begin to imagine what kind of suffering you did, or that thing did to you. And like you said, if I was the one to die after saving you, and you were going to make that decision, if I was the one that pulled the trigger to end your life, to end my best friend's life, I don't know if I wouldn't have done the same thing you just said. Immediately turn the gun on myself, because Jordan, right now, I mean, I have people now, but when I left, you know, and I escaped with you, I had no one. You were the only thing I had left. I didn't know what was going on with you. I didn't know what was happening. I just, in the moment, people were trying to take you away. They were trying to do something horrible. And I wanted to get out of there with you. because at that point, everyone on that mission would have been gone and dead. And I couldn't have that on... I couldn't live with that. Especially when you were right there next to me. And in the moment, I thought you were getting better, but obviously not. But I couldn't lose you because I had no family anymore. They thought I was dead. I couldn't go back to them. I didn't have anywhere to go. I had no home. I had no place. The only thing I had was you. And I wanted to save you. It's all I could think about. And then I found out that it was possible. That I could do it. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it consumed me. It consumed the fact that the thought of saving you, no matter what I had to do, was all I could really think about. I'm saying it was a good decision or a good choice because I made you suffer. I put you through so much for my own selfish desire to save you. But I couldn't not try.
Well, if you want even a small glimpse of what I went through, you should ask your fuckboy friend with the top knot. Seemed like he was getting a taste of it himself. And I don't blame you for doing what you did to try and save me in the first place. Again, I would have done the same thing. But do you even care about all the people you killed that day? Yeah, it told me. It made sure I was very aware. What was it, 100? 200?
At this point, I'll kind of sit down in the chair, kind of losing the strength to stand. Yeah, it was about 200. And I mean, you know the dreams and the images that flash through your mind after you've taken a life, even justified in a war.
Yeah.
But those are flashes of brutality that I still get now. I still see the flashes. I still see the faces of innocent people, of the random bystander that just happened to be in my rampage to save you. I can't get away from that. I have to live with that as well.
How have you been living this life since? Like, how is that possible? Like, nobody just runs away from the military and isn't found again. Like, what is this?
I mean, I can tell you everything if you want, but do you want to know? I can't. There's certain rules I have to follow now. I can't tell you too much or it becomes an issue. Like, I want to tell you, but do you want to know?
I do, but I'm not sure I can entirely trust it coming from you. I know you don't lie, Raymond, but you have a very skewed perspective of the truth when you need to. You've found a way to navigate your way through situations while not technically lying, but withholding things. And I can't believe you wouldn't withhold things in this situation either. Besides, I've got a date.
mean, I would promise you that I wouldn't lie, but I mean, obviously you wouldn't believe that. But I guess all I'll say is that there are other people in my situation that help me be able to disappear and have a new identity so that I could continue what I was doing or what I was forced to do. I may have escaped, the life of a soldier overseas, but that's what I currently am right now. Just in a different war, fighting a different enemy.
Must be nice to have people to lean on and rely on, not holding you prisoner, tying you to chairs, feeding you greasy fast food, letting you be possessed by a monster, some sort of crazy evil ghost thing. Must be nice. But I don't get to have that. I have nobody, Raymond. I have to try and rebuild an entire life because of this. I don't get a group to help me through this, because if I even show my face out there, they're going to have a lot of questions, and I'll go from one jail cell to another.
I mean, you don't have to do it alone. I know you're angry with me and would rather probably not see me again after this, but I'm willing to help in any way. And the people I know can help you, and they can do what they did for me to allow you to go off on your own if that's what you wish. Because I think what you said is true. Like, I am a monster for what I did. And it's not just keeping you locked up here, keeping you suffering for so long. I mean, I'm the one that caused everything. Because, I mean, I'm the one that decided to join the military and get you to join with me. I'm the one that got us put on that team. I'm the one that persuaded you to go out on missions with us, even though you didn't want to, even though that's not what you wanted to do. And I'm the one that missed that ambush. I'm the one that lost sight of you and you got dragged away from us by those things and got possessed by that spirit.
All right. Enough with the martyr complex. I don't regret any of that, okay? I don't regret being side by side with my best friend, my brother, in the army and on the lines. Yeah, it was fucking terrifying, but I wouldn't have been any better off without you, knowing you were out there. A 1,000 push-ups. You want to start the road to making things better, I want you to hurt, but not permanently. I just need a little bit of satisfaction in your misery. And trust me, this isn't even close to mine. But I also am not a monster either. So 1,000 push-ups right here, right now. And we'll talk. And trust me, you're going to want that beer.
I'll look up at him, still having that kind of pained expression, but it will soften a little and a very small kind of smile will appear, and I'll just nod and say, "Yes, sir." And I will get down.
One more thing. You don't get to interfere with anything I do now. And if I find out you did, it's over. You support me or you fuck off.
Jordan, the last thing I want to do is make decisions for you anymore. I've but caused you suffering by doing that, and at this point, I will respect whatever decision you make and whatever you want to do with your life, even if that means leaving and going away after this is done.
Well, you don't get off that easy. Now get down, soldier.
I'll drop down and start doing the push-ups.
Give me a strength, or let's go stamina and athletics.
Unusable power. I got 2 successes.
It takes a long time. Hours. Painful hours. And even as a guru, you know you're going to be sore from this, but he just doesn't let you leave. He doesn't let you stop. He'll let you take a break, but he doesn't let you stop until 1,000. In fact, at one point, he pulls up a chair that looks like it was bought from a secondhand store, a different chair, sits in it and props his feet up on your back as you're doing the push-ups. But afterwards, after it's all done, after your muscles are aching and burning, even as supernatural as they are, you stay. You hang out. You start to reminisce a little bit. Old war stories, old childhood memories. And even though you can see and feel still a little bit of tension coming from Jordan, he was always the sweet one, the caring and considerate one. He was always the one to forgive. But he won't forget, especially the deal you made today. And Raymond, you have quite the history when it comes to deals. Will this one stick? This is where our story comes to a close this evening, but not without one final scene. Our final scene starts with a beep, then another beep, then another beep, as bleary eyes slowly open in a hospital room. Juniper and Forged share a room in the ER, having been found by those who went to investigate the blast site, and finding 2 unconscious humans in the woods took them where they belong, the hospital. But as they come to consciousness, looking in front of them, trying to gain their surroundings, painkillers working their way through their system, which is covered in burns and bruises. They notice a very important detail: the handcuffs around their wrist, cuffing them to the bed. As the only 2 found at the blast site of the Hell Saloon, They're needed for questioning. But there's something strange about these cuffs. They're very, very itchy. And as they come to full consciousness, Deputy Aaron Foles stands in the room and says, "Hello, kids. You're under arrest." And that's where our story comes to a close.
I always
back,
knew
baby.
it. ACAB. I always knew it.
I'm always a cat. I'm always a cat.
Thank you so much to these amazing players. Thank you to everybody watching at home. Go follow St. Pete by Night on all the social media. And if you haven't yet, go sign up for a Ko-fi membership for as low as $5 a month. You get access to all kinds of behind the scenes. You can see all about that face, where you'll get to see the facial expressions of these amazing players throughout the course of tonight's session. Plus, much, much more, including the Rosebud Thorns for all of our series and sneak peeks at some upcoming special things that may be on the horizon. So go sign up for that Ko-fi and support this community, support this program, and support this channel. We really, really appreciate it. For these amazing players, I'm Kent. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.